Cool. So yeah, no, it's just that's kind of like the big that's the way things work now, isn't it? Right? Like nothing is ever certain until it's it's signed on the dotted line. But
Sometimes you want something and won't get it.
yeah. So I mean, as far as Chris is concerned, like pure speculation, and obviously you don't need to answer, but like as far as I saw it, it was just an ongoing negotiation between Mouse Sports and FPX, and they couldn't decide on a number.
No, I think it's. I mean, all of the negotiations were going fine until a certain point where, um, I think FPX and Chris couldn't get on the same page according to those contractual details until the EPL, which on the last day it was kind of stressful, so we had to do it this way. Otherwise, it wouldn't have been enough time.
What? So wait, they were on the same page, and then so it was Chris. It was Chris who hung it up. Interesting, dude. I
Very interesting.
very interesting. So now the thing is, you've got Sonny, and Sonny is going to be is he in, or are we still in a stand-in sort of scenario with Sonny?
We're still in a stand-in scenario, which is
Dude, do you feel like
it's
complexity right now? Like where it's like, oh yeah, well now we just got to keep playing with stand-ins, and we kind of, I mean, so the criticism, the observation, I guess we had back then with complexity was how disheartening that must be if you like how hard is it to put the work in day to day if you don't even know if this is the roster and it's worthwhile to do the work.
yeah, yeah. I mean that really does take its toll, especially when we actually had some really good stuff and really good progress with Chris as well, and everyone's belief was really high, and then Sonny is like all props to him. He's standing in. It has nothing to do with him.
Mm-hmm.
But we had a lot of success in our packs and a lot of constant improvements that we made, and just kind of obviously like a kick in the gut uh, kind of moments. But the boys they responded well. I mean, I don't think there's that many teams that can just change IGL five times in 5 months and still compete.
That's so nuts, dude.
Yeah, it's a little bit crazy.
And so Sonny calling as well now.
Yeah.
Sonny's calling. He's got so you have a stand-in who's calling the shots for their team for four players who, and it was kind of like Chris as well was kind of playing that role.
Yeah. Well, I
So
would say that like everyone pitches in our team. It's not like I think that's why it kind of works for us with changing in-game leader, is because we all pitch in constantly, and it's more about having that like authority voice, I guess, than always making the right calls. Micro calling and stuff like that to organize where we're hitting, how we're hitting it in the mid rounds, even in like 3v3s and 4v4s. That's kind of what we need.
yeah,
Not necessarily,
do
you know.
you have special roles for people like as in one guy's more on mid rounds, one guy's more on pistols, one guy like do you kind of decentralize it to different
We have a
roles
little bit of
or
a hierarchy. So, for
yeah?
example, if Sen calls mid round, we always listen to him
Okay, okay.
because, like, sometimes he doesn't call that much, but when he actually has a call, it's usually super thought out, so that we try to like, okay, let's do his thing then.
Okay. Dude, that's
But
so
it's
wild to me though cuz like how do you anti-strat you? Like, there's no like one thread, one line through all of your matches, like the reasoning that you can pick out. Like, oh, okay, we can figure out that Fallen likes to call this way or whatever, right? It's like, no, no,
yeah,
you got four callers on this team.
and then I call sometimes, and then
Wow, you got six callers on the team right now. It's
yeah,
like you never
pretty much.
know what you're gonna be throwing in there.
Yeah, it's only about like sometimes it can get confusing when a lot of people are pushing for different ideas.
Okay.
Uh, But yeah,
So
that's when
that
the
is that where you have the
grounds
fail
look
safe?
complete shit.
But is that
I
where you
mean,
have? Do you have a fail safe for that kind of? Because that's the obvious next step, right? If it gets chaotic.
we do have, but it all depends also on the people taking that responsibility. If they are, for example, one of the people that it's like me or so like how we did it before with like Crystal
Okay,
was that if someone makes a call, let's say that Sen is making a call, right? And Crystal wants to make a call, he overrides Sen's calls, right?
got it.
But if I made a call, I overwrite everyone's calls. So that's how the hierarchy worked for us.
Interesting. And wow, okay, that's an interesting development because then what happens if you don't get to call at all? Do they become reliant on you calling, or I guess you're not calling very often, right? It's like rare for you to make
No,
that
but
kind of call.
previously with Crystal as well and Emmy, or not Emmy necessarily, but with Crystal, I was the caller for Overpass and Train
You
because
okay?
yeah,
I mean, dude, this is fucking wild.
so it
Um,
was some crazy stuff happening.
so I mean, as far as everything is going now, man. So like the next thing is just like when do you have a I mean, do you have a date for when is Sunny the answer, or do you have
Well,
somebody
it's
else
not
in
even
mind?
certain that I mean, Sunny was just nice to step in for us. We have to realize the situation that pretty much I messaged him if he could step in like 2 hours before the roster lock or something, you know. So he's stepping in, he's doing a good job. What he wants is probably the main focus. If he wants to, from what I have talked to him and stuff, it's very like dependent on how he feels after like this tournament and stuff.
So he's the one who
Uh,
decides if he wants to commit.
yeah, it's totally up to him. I mean, we need to slot in and make sure that we get our fifth locked in after this tournament, whoever that may be. But Sunny, obviously, there's other projects that are interested in him and stuff. So uh, that's for him to think about.
Okay, fascinating. And I mean, by after this tournament you mean after this week? Like EPL is done, your EPL group is done, and then you guys are deciding because then it's time to work.
Well, there's EPL playoffs.
So okay, so hold on. This he's in for the whole tournament, as in like EPL as well.
Yeah,
Okay, okay. So you wouldn't change after the group because then because you're still gonna have like what 3 weeks until the playoffs or even longer, right? So I mean, you're gonna have a long time.
yeah, that's true. But I've, I I think it would be kind of assholish to get to the playoffs and then be like, oh no, man.
Oh, yeah, fair enough. I mean, dude, totally. That's a fair point. It's a fair point. I'm just over here thinking like, okay, that's 3 weeks of work that you're gonna put in, 3 to 4 weeks of work you're gonna put in with a guy that you don't even know is gonna be a full time part of the roster. But to be fair, you're right. Like if he's
I
playing
mean,
in the
that's
tournament and you make the
something
playoffs,
we've done for the last 5 months or so.
so just another week in the office.
Yeah,
Oh
we
man.
keep taking those hits, but I think we can still, produce good Counter Strike sometimes.
Uh huh.
Uh, but it's really hard in some games because obviously you can make like an old call that we went through and practiced so many times, and then it's like, no, I don't know this, and then we just fuck it. Okay, let's not do it then. Let's do a default or something. Like it's a little bit rough sometimes when you have answers, but you can't execute those answers.
Dude, that's wild, though. That you guys are gonna have to stay in that sort of scenario for as long as you're gonna have to stay. I'm still kind of locked in on that. But I mean, hey, you're right. If you've been doing it for months, this is just the thing. I mean, have have
I mean,
have you
I
guys?
think that's a testament to how good we are as a squad, not nothing
True.
else.
Yeah. I mean, the core
Like
the core four clearly can work
yeah.
together, and then you kind of just slotting in a fifth. And I don't know if that's a knock on the fifth or not. Probably not. I mean,
No,
it's
no,
just
no,
it's
no.
just an
They've been
addition.
doing great as well. I mean, it's not it's all a collaboration of it. I mean, we try to make it as easy as possible, but at the same time, I have a hard time seeing, in maybe different teams where people are not as vocal with ideas and stuff, it working well, with just slotting in a different IGL every week. Doesn't
Do you,
really make sense.
and this is a question that we get a lot. Tea Time is asking in the chat right now. But in regards to Crystal, have there been any regrets letting him go, or is that something where you guys are just like you're totally set to continue moving forward?
No, I mean, we don't regret that decision. We know it's the decision for us. I mean, he's done some great stuff for us, and uh, I think regret is a is a weird word to use because either I say something harsh or I don't.
Sure.
But I think that sometimes I absolutely miss Kevin and what he brought to the table and some of the qualities that he has. But for the progress that we want to make, no.
I got you. Well, let's talk a little bit about last night, my dude. I called you guys to
Yeah,
win. I fucking
you
called it. I was
did.
like, dude, FPX have got this. And everybody, I was on the phone. I was on the phone. I was on the phone. MST was on. He was like, "Oh no, man, it's all about big and shit." And I was like, "No, no, no, man, fucking FPX. You kidding me? They're gonna take him. They got him." And you guys, I mean, you made it interesting. You made me sweat, but
Yeah.
but you got it done in the end, dude. Fucking hey, congratulations on that win.
I was never worried on Nuke, but in fairness, I cannot deny the worry.
I mean, to be fair,
Uh,
Mirage was looking good for you guys too.
yeah, yeah. But we had some like really good prep against them on Mirage.
Okay.
Like we it felt like we knew what they were gonna do every single round. And we knew what the alternatives and how they would fake some rounds and everything. Like it
So
just
so
felt
what
really good.
happened then? How did it slip through your fingers? Because
Well,
it
we
did
got them
feel
on
like
T
that.
side, and then I think we had some really good calls, but we got super stressed in the mid round. Like it was constantly this scenario. Like if we win this, we break them. If we win this, we break them. And we
Right,
were
right,
like,
right.
we're a little bit too anxious, I think, to get to that point. That a lot of the timings that we took were way too quickly. We could have slowed things down and really made a collective decision in the mid round, but these things happen. Um, I mean, sometimes it is stressful. You're in the lead, you have 1-0, and you should win. You should shut Mirage down, but you don't, and then the pressure just increases with every round they get closer.
Yeah, of course, of course. Watching that was tense, let's say, because you're just like, dude, if this goes to a third map, are they going to be able to that's the whole idea, right? Because when you have it in your hands and you let it slip through and then the other team comes back and it's tied up 1-1, you're going to the third map, it's in the back of your head like we could have ended this in two. There's going to be some level of frustration there. And that's where I was a little concerned at first, especially when it didn't go your way right off the bat on Nuke either. I was like, oh boy, like are they going to be able to recover mentally and get into this game?
Yeah, but I mean, it must be mega tilting for them as well, like,
Oh
or
yeah.
any team to really play us, because just because of the fact that we have a stand in game leader, and sometimes we're running around like idiots and chickens because we have no clue what we're doing, and sometimes we just do like the greatest call ever.
Uh-huh.
So it's a little bit of a mixed bag right now. It's not super consistent, but it must be really tilting for Big, to be honest. I would be
Well,
tilted.
I think what was it, the back-to-back clutch rounds from Zen? Those,
Oh
those
my
those
god.
probably I was already
If they
just like, there's
only
no
held
way.
Vent, they would have won the game.
Yeah, exactly. And he comes out and murks three of them. Dude, Tabson's face after that was priceless. He was just looking like, what the fuck just happened? Where did my team go? What? That
Yeah.
was
Uh,
amazing.
I was specking that and I was like, oh my god. I think it was Santares that was holding heaven with the Deagle.
Uh-huh.
And I mean, to be fair, the second time, I can't remember who it was, but he was low the second time and was reloading, so he new positions of both
I think it was the
players.
third kill that truly shocked me because the first two I was like, okay, but then he gets the third
Yeah,
one, and I was like, what? How is this? How did this happen? Disaster for Big, but I mean, hey, sometimes that's just the
yeah.
way it's gonna break. That's the way it's gonna go.
Roller coaster of emotions that round
Uh
because it's
huh.
like, oh fuck, we lost this round. We have one event and one heaven. How the fuck are we supposed to win this? And then he just goes full ballsy play and gets the kills.
I liked it because it really sparked. Who was it that I saw making that discussion afterwards online? Oh yeah, I was online. It was like on Twitter or somebody where they were discussing percentage plays, right? And some guy was like, "Oh, you
Yeah.
never go for that. You got to play the percentages." And but sometimes you do have to just kind of go for it. You got to put your dick on the table and
If
get
we
and,
played
and just go.
percentages, we would have lost.
Exactly, you would have lost. Sometimes you got to make the play, and turns out
Yeah.
Zen, he was the one to do it.
Yep.
That was sick.
I totally encourage that. But the worst thing is like I've seen him in that situation like many times. Obviously, we played Nuke a lot, and and a lot of the times he does actually not even attempt to do that,
Hmm.
or even check if someone is holding vent. But he wanted to win this time, big time.
Yeah, it was truly. I mean, that was a great series, and 30 rounds in
Yeah.
the last map. It's hard to top that kind of pressure, and for your team to come through that. I mean, dude, now you guys are going to be feeling fantastic going forward. It's a shame that I almost want to say it's a shame that this didn't happen earlier in the group, because
No, no, but I think
it's kind of
if you
like. I go ahead. Sorry.
if you look at like how the group like I think we were lucky to have complexity the first game because it became a real wake up call for us of how fucking bad we were playing. Uh, and how like uncompetitive that game was. So I think it was really, really good because a lot of the issues that we're struggling with like came forward during that game, and we really um, talked about it afterwards. I think we had like a 2-3 hour conversation, not like forced or anything. It was more everyone, sitting there and like, okay, I know that like even tilt issues, like someone tilted someone else in a round because they didn't listen or something. We both explained, or
Uh
everyone
huh.
explained their perspective and stuff, and we fixed that. Okay, can we avoid this in the future? And like a lot of productivity came out of that because it's hard also when you have 5-6 days of prac. I mean, imagine you have 7 maps.
Hmm.
You're practicing, even when we're practicing 8 hours a day, you're gonna be on that map like 3-4 times, and then you have an official in EPL. Like that's about how much prac you have on each map, right?
It's crazy, isn't it? I mean, it's so
So
tight.
3 or 4 times you're on the server playing that map. That's it,
Yeah.
and then you just head into EPL.
Yeah. So you just don't get any room for error. Like you have to
But
be
how
tight.
how are you supposed to build anything of that?
Yeah. Well,
It's
don't ask me, dude. You guys are the ones
no,
who are
it's
signing
crazy.
up for all these tournaments, just playing back to back to back
Signing
forever.
up. I mean, we would have loved to. I mean,
Listen,
the
Devilwalk, we both know that if you were from North
yeah,
America or from Brazil, you would have got to wait, a couple weeks. You'd have had a little bit more time to work with Sunny. You'd have been put into that C and D group. Would have been real nice.
true,
But
true.
hey, you're European, dude. You don't get that luxury. You got to play right off the
Yeah,
bat. No time to waste.
yeah. But
They
I
expect
think
more from you.
true. But we've been quite unlucky, I would say, in the past. But it's gonna turn around soon enough.
Mm-hmm. It does. It does. What do you think? What do you think about tonight, though? Because you guys are. What time do you guys play? You guys play at 19 CT, right?
Yeah.
So
Uh,
this is going to be a big match for you guys.
ah, I mean, I think it's. I'm gonna go into with the same attitude that we had for the big match. We have
Mm-hmm.
absolutely nothing to lose.
Yeah, you don't. Exactly. It's fantastic, isn't it? Like it's freeing.
Yeah, they have a standing, but this is a self-made choice of a
Mm-hmm.
stand-in. Um, but we yeah, a little bit more turbulent of a switch, I would say. They should probably have all the pressure on them. I think that we have a really good chance to beat them. We very often play super close series against OG.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I think they won last time.
Where do we have? Let me see here. Do I have?
But we've had a couple of games against them. Uh,
It's easily found on HLTV. Yeah. 12, 9, 20. So wow, no, back in September is the last time you guys played, and you were still godsent back then.
yeah. Well, either way, it's we always seem to have like a 2-1 series against OG.
It's true actually. Like, you guys do go 2-1 every time. Every time in 2020, you guys went 2-1, and
Yeah.
yeah, so that's sick. I mean, listen, I expect nothing less than a fucking close match between you two. I mean, the level has improved for both teams.
Yeah, I think both teams have grown into the tournament game by game, so we'll see. It is a very close game, though. It's not. Maybe they are slight favorites, but we'll see. I have some good hope.
Yeah, dude, I love it. I think it's a fantastic match. This is it's best match of the day as far as I'm concerned. Hold on, let's take a look at what else do we got going here.
It's more
I
the
mean,
storyline, maybe.
I
I
mean, you
don't
got
know
heroic
who,
versus complexity. Complexity should win that. I mean, big versus RNG again. Big should win that. Although, I mean, the Australians could be in a situation where they can actually get their first win of the group.
I mean, Big doesn't really have that much to play for, so I guess
Yeah,
if
bigger
it's any
out.
time to get that win, it's now Renegades.
Yeah, exactly. Bigger out.
I feel a little bit bad for Renegades. I mean, they haven't been. You can look at the losses 2-0 every time, but at the same time they've been competitive on a lot of the maps that they played.
I
Um,
agree. They've been. It's a bit of a revelation. It's fun to
yeah,
watch them play. They've clearly put the work in. They've been here for a while, boot camping in Europe, right? I don't know. Have you
it's
guys
just
have you
the
guys been
late.
able to scrim against them at all?
Yeah, we scrimmed them on Mirage one
All right.
time, and we obviously we did really well against them on that track, but yeah, I still think they need some time to adjust to um, at least aggression in Europe,
Sure.
and they
Info
have some
takes.
really weird rotations, like on Nuke as an example.
Uh huh.
They only rotate through ramp, which I'm like, what?
Why do they
That's
do
like
this?
the 2013 Nuke.
Well, maybe that's the thing. It's taken that long for the meta to get down to the island.
Yeah, but otherwise, I think I mean, they play good. And I also
They're
understand
fun
the
to
issues
watch.
they have in the late game when the pressure comes, right? Because they don't have a coach. I mean, I don't even know if they have an in-game leader. I mean, obviously they have one, but if any one of those were in-game leader types before,
Mm-hmm.
uh, but yeah, I think they've been doing good.
I think so too, dude. I think so too. They've been really entertaining to watch. Uh, become a bit messy with the schedule last night. They want us to move date. Okay, I got it. Um, okay, I think we're gonna have like a change of schedule here. Things are gonna get messy. But is this a good place to call it, Dev? To
Yeah,
let you start your morning.
I'll go get some nectar of the gods and
Oh yeah.
do some prep.
Okay. I'm gonna get Vendetta on, and we're gonna discuss a bit of Dignitas. And he says he's got 15 minutes to talk. Apparently his schedule just got
All
fucked
right.
up last night.
Yeah.
But
Well,
dude, thanks so
I'll
much.
see you.
Hey, and seriously, when you've got a little bit more room to maneuver, a little bit more, a little bit more time, so it's not as busy for you. You got to come back on again, and we'll just shoot the shit about
Yeah,
everything.
for sure. For sure. All
Awesome,
right.
man.
I'll
Well,
see
good
you,
luck
man.
today. Huh? Kick ass, take names.
Thanks. Bye.
All right, bye.